For the 6-mark question, explain why land use change can increase flood risk. The key thing to understand there, and using on new literacy maths, is the fact that when you explain something, you have to give a reason for something. You have to remember to use sentence starters like this means that, as a result, furthermore, etc. So when you've got an explain question, 6-mark question, our recommended structure would be as follows. You make a point with a bit of evidence as your A1, then you explain that point twice. And that's where you get most of your grades. Okay, your point is 1 mark, your explanation, you get a mark for each explanation. Okay, and you do that twice because each paragraph would be worth 3 marks. Okay, so in the case of this 6-mark question, the way I personally would see you write an answer would be your point and evidence would be explain land use change. An example of land use change is urbanization. The case study we looked at was Cockermouth in Cumbria. Your explanation is that urbanization leads to an increase in impermeable surfaces such as tarmac and concrete. This prevents infiltration. As a result, surface runoff will increase and therefore reduce the lag time between peak rainfall and peak discharge inside a drainage basin system. Lovely first paragraph. You make a point, you explain it twice. Second paragraph, a different types of a spelling mistake there, but different type of land use change is deforestation, is what I actually meant to write. Example again in the Lake District and Cockermouth. What it does do, it'll reduce precipitation in the upper course of a river, and therefore it'll increase surface runoff, reduce the amount of lag time within a drainage basin system. Okay, because there's less vegetation, more water basically reaches the ground and therefore arrives onto the surface. That would be 2 3-mark paragraphs put together. You get 6 out of 6. The key thing there is a few of you made one big piece paragraph where you made a point, you gave evidence, you analyzed the point, and then you made a counterpoint by saying, however, a way to reduce the risk is. That is not the question. The question is asking you to explain land use change increases the risk of flood. You didn't have to assess whether land use change affects flood risk. You didn't have to balance it. You had to explain why and how. Okay, so unfortunately, providing a counterpoint when management strategy would not be answering the question, and therefore you wouldn't be rewarded for that effort.